saying that would refresh your recollection, so you could ask that question.
With me describing what Maria said, refresh your recollection.
I think if I read what Maria said, I would, that would refresh my recollection. But I do not recall exactly that. I can recall my own thinking around that time where I thought, was she in the state of Maria when she played Gamma? And there was something about the way in which this was depicted to me where I thought, my goodness, have I met the killer alter? And so there was something about the way in which she spoke of this that led me to think that I had very likely met the most violent and most dangerous alter.
Hello.
If looking possibly at a summation of the video, would you know?
Well, I could look at it and I will tell you if it does.
Let's see if I can't fix YouTube over here. Okay. What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up, what's up, what's up? Let me make sure I can see my chats. I can, I think. How is everybody? All right, we're gonna do this wood grain.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will take our break until 3:25. I can have everyone back in the jury room at 3:25. You should be able to.
You should not be able to have
Again,
breaks. You took a long enough break. What's everybody up to? Where is everybody? I might be early. Am I actually early for one time in my life? Okay. All right, let's do this. Let's do this.
135A people versus the teaching staff. There are the two reflectors already have this report in. When we took our break, we were in the midst of the testimony of Dr. Lewis. That's what we will resume.
Yes, Dr. Lewis, did that summary refresh your recollection at all?
Almost Derby! Yay!
Yes.
Almost Derby! That's what this is for. So we have a Derby party every year.
Actually,
This cup is going to be like a door prize.
Okay. Well, do you recall independently that?
So if you're coming to our party, you might win something.
what comes to me as I read.
Well, as I do it, you'll see what it actually is.
The reason that I can't say chapter and verses, it is wildly psychotic.
So I know that YouTube can't see my face. Here's my face. Hi.
Well,
But I want you to be able to see the cup.
What
So
Maria told you, I think, was the question. That's
yeah.
Let me rephrase
So we're gonna do a wood
that.
grain.
You can't recall.
This
the
is
exact
going to be a
specifics of what
peekaboo.
she said. What can you recall about the way in which she was presented?
yes, I can't recall the exact specifics. Because it
No.
is
Okay,
disorganized
so
and confused.
I'm just gonna
and,
get to it.
difficult to
Can
remember.
everybody see what I'm doing?
But
Let
I
me
recall
scoot
her
TikTok down a little
kind of,
bit. Hello.
Yes,
Okay, I'm gonna start with rosewood.
She talks about her grandmother.
I want it to be
and
like a,
family shooting things out the window and always needed people to guard.
I don't know, like a
fields,
cherry wood
uh,
grain.
That it
Whoa,
it had a
hey.
chaotic quality.
Hi, Catherine.
and
Look, I
it
can
happened
see today.
after
See, you all
this
wanted me to go to a
shortly
doctor.
after I became
I don't need no
aware
stinking
of
doctor.
her seeming
Just
to
give it a
move
couple of
into
days.
Her Maria
I have been
and,
literally blind
her
for the
more
past 3
aggressive,
days.
more,
It was not good.
you know, more
It was not good at all.
persona, and then it is just
Thanks for the
rambling
follow,
and,
Geneva. Thank you very
and,
much, very much.
doesn't make sense. And
Okay, so I'm just gonna
and
put this
so-
on my paper here. It's been a minute since I've done a wood grain. We'll see how this goes. I'm gonna
And-
try to do it towards you guys.
Fairness, there were other things that you would have liked.
Still
to
want
have
you to go.
done.
Where is
In your
Nisi when you need her?
She talked to
I'm
me
good.
about
I
those.
promise. Oh, that
But
is
for
red,
like
red,
why
but that's
or
okay.
easy.
Correct.
It's okay.
Why would you like those to have been done?
There were
Yeah, that's red,
aspects
red.
of her
We're just gonna do a layer of that
memory
first,
that
and then we'll go in
make
with the brown.
description that
I don't need a doctor. I'm better now.
consistent with
I just needed a couple of
certain
days
kinds of
to get my
brain
eyesight
damage.
back.
And
I'm still a little swollen
for example,
right here,
there are
but
certain things that are
it's aight. It's aight.
that are so close in terms of dissociation and neurologic impairment.
That is
and,
a pretty
it's
red, though, I'm
secondary
not gonna
called
lie.
secondary seizures, where prior to a confused state or prior to a state where you are
Not going to
aggressive
lie.
and moving kind of automatically but violently. Prior to this, there's often a
I'm watching
state of,
the Letitia Stout
wooziness
trial,
and,
and this expert that they have on the
which, as I recall,
stand,
she described.
literally,
and
I'm gonna say 3 hours
Following
of her
these
resume.
kinds of episodes,
And I mean, she was born in like 1806. And she is extremely proud of herself, so it went on and on and on. and on and on and on and on and on. Letitia Stout. So Letitia Stout is charged
First, there is what is
with
called aura. Then
unaliving her
things
step,
happen. Very often
her
they
11-year-old
can be
stepson.
they can be repetitive things.
She has
And
pled
subsequent to that,
not
the
guilty
person
by
does not
reason of
remember them
insanity.
or remembers them in a confused fashion. And the reason that I would
And
like very
this,
much to
who's on the
have
stand,
been able
is a
to
psychiatrist who
investigate that is, if it were, let's say if
is the
we were able to
defense.
get the
So
electric
basically,
sensor
she's saying
gas,
that she was
I would like
insane.
to have had
But I mean,
if indeed
you gotta be
so,
crazy
but at a certain point,
to do that. So what's your point,
normal,
lady?
electrical activity changed.
Lots of
And the
crazy
rhythms
people in this
and
world
things
don't
went
kill people.
off, and, were
Lots of
not the way
people in
we
this
normally
world
think.
that have been
And
through terrible things in their
it
life
ceased.
don't kill people.
if you could combine that, because that would have been signs of abnormal brain activity. And
Whatever.
then it would have been very possible, very
Okay,
likely
so we're
that
gonna start
during
like
the
that.
time at which
Yeah, she's for sure evil. That's what Tyler said. Tyler said she's not insane, she's evil. And I was like, you are correct,
that
son.
during this time when the child was being stabbed, that her brain was in an altered state, and that there was no way in hell that she could have stopped what she was doing.
Oh,
And the
really?
other thing is, she would not remember it. And a classic part of Maria's situation is she doesn't remember what happened.
Freaking
I'm not
Maria.
even convinced she knows she did it.
I'm
And,
not convinced
she
that
certainly
you should
can give a variety of
be testifying right now. This
this
woman is like,
confabulations, just kind of wild stories
okay,
where her head just
so it looks
goes
like
in different directions.
a massacre right
I
now.
think that
It's
if
gonna
you
get better, I promise.
documented this.
So this one is teak wood. Teak wood.
Whereas we're in a lot more trouble when we're dealing only with a dissociative identity disorder. That's that's a very tough one to
I was
treat.
so happy I
It's,
was able to see this morning because I needed to
takes a certain
drive.
amount of, experience.
Tyler
time,
had to
what
go
have
to
you,
work.
an investment
Reese
for a
had to go
long
to the
period of
dentist.
so that it matters.
And
If you
I could
find
not
out
drive
that
the
this
last few
is
days because
what's
I couldn't
going on
see.
in the brain, and
So
you can target it with
happy
something to improve it.
that I can see
You're going
today.
to see a difference in her whole behavior.
And it was frustrating to you that I wasn't able to line that up for us, correct? It was frustrating that I wasn't able to make the EEG happen for you, correct?
More than Christmas.
So I'm just layering these
Just so the listener knows,
colors.
You're not here out of the goodness of your heart. You're being paid for your time.
Of course you're being paid.
Not yet, but I hope so.
Okay.
What the world? What kind of laugh was that? Alright, so that's
You're being paid by
starting
the
to
city
look a little bit
agency,
more
and
like a rosewood rather than
in theory, hopefully.
Just
and
red.
The agreement is to be paid at $300 an hour.
Whew.
So it was $350 an hour.
I'll have to talk to my supervisor about that. But
She
that-
thought she was
that's
getting
just
paid
the
more.
form of
That's
the
funny.
charge, correct? Okay.
That's funny.
Despite not having the EEG or the MRI, in your report, you indicated that Miss Stout was one of the most mentally ill people you'd ever come across.
Well, yeah, she murdered her 11-year-old friggin'.
Would you
Stepson.
elaborate on that a little bit?
Of course she's sick.
The more I studied her and the more I
Hi,
remember what
MJ.
happened,
What's
though,
up, girl?
she has
What's
such
up?
a variety of different signs, symptoms, and behaviors. She has
How
many
are
of
you?
the signs,
I'm doing
symptoms, behaviors
good
of
today.
a dissociative identity disorder.
I was like super sick the last
she
3
also,
days.
if
Like
you
really
follow
sick.
The material,
Like-
as you recall, I could not remember it clearly.
Like I was
Uh,
like, whoa.
If you
like,
follow the parts
Couldn't
that
get out of
you
bed
remember,
sick.
they are
I feel much better today.
confused.
Thank
They make no
God.
sense. They are psychotic. They're incomprehensible by
So I'm just
an
gonna
ordinary human being.
manipulate the alcohol
You would
ink
not make head or tail of them. So that,
until it looks
I find this
the way I
helpful.
want it to.
And it would have helped me if I could have at least eliminated or included a particular central nervous system dysfunction that I could deal with. It's always fun for a doctor to be able to treat and to be able to make something better. And so far we have been we're not able
So
to.
it's starting to look like wood.
Despite that, are you able to
Oh my
come
God,
with
it's
an
Robin.
expert opinion
Oh my
regarding your
gosh.
sanity at the
It's
time of
me.
Yeah.
It's
the death? What is
me.
your opinion?
Well, I think that she was, that assuming that this area.
It's Amanda.
Is about
Hey Amanda, thank you
intelligence.
for that because I was like, I don't remember who Gemini
Yeah, she
is.
was psychotic.
Although if I thought about it for a second, I would have figured it out.
not
But
in
thank you
touch
for
with reality.
not making me
And
use my brain.
and she didn't.
You know I
I
hate
don't
that.
think she knew the difference between right and wrong. I don't know whether she even knew what she was.
So there
doing.
is like a dark stripe right
Thank you.
here, and that's really easy. All you have to do is go over it with either plain alcohol or an alcohol ink to kind of rub that out. I
I believe that you must.
think I'm gonna do another color. Let's see what color I want to do.
The
Lavender hoodie is a nice color on you. Thank you, MJ. Thank you.
that,
The only reason I'm wearing it is because I'm in all white, and these alcohol inks will.
decision,
tear
which
that
has
up.
to do with,
I should have
you cannot
changed,
control
but let's try espresso.
your
Let's do
behavior such as
espresso.
to comply with
Do it a
the
little,
requisites
give it a
of
little
law.
bit
I
darker
believe
look.
that is also
Espresso.
part of an
Espresso.
insanity defense here.
I was like,
Look at the statute regarding
use it
insanity
on
for
here.
the state
Yeah,
of Colorado
thank you.
prior to rendering opinions in this case.
Thank you,
I did, but I
Amanda.
have to look at it again. look at it, and I've also discussed it with others, which is why I added the,
Hopefully this isn't too dark.
decision and the ability to conform your behavior, because to my mind, it
I wish I had
in
espresso.
many
Go get you
courts
some
where
coffee,
testified
girl.
That is no longer accepted, but
Go
it
get you
was my
some
understanding
coffee.
from the attorney that that is also an aspect of insanity,
let's-
the inability to
let's see how
conform
dark this
behavior
is.
to what is required by law.
All right, it's
Is
not
that the
bad.
aspect that you use in rendering your opinions in this case?
That is only
So
one
I'm just going lightly.
aspects.
Well, tell us the elements. This is what you're here for. You're here to testify that this defendant was saying, how should you explain? I'd like you to explain.
The prosecution is going in on this lady.
Would you permit me to read it, and I will tell you what aspects of it I
You're the expert. Doctor.
concentrate on. By and large, I used the.
This woman needs to
Norton
retire, by the way.
definition of whether the person knew the nature of what he or she was doing, and that it was
Just
wrong.
saying.
And, so that was my, that was my
Just
orientation.
saying.
And then I was pleased to learn from the attorneys that also.
Hydration.
the,
Thank you. Hydrate,
inability
people,
to
hydrate.
conform one's behavior to the requirements of law was also part of the, definition in Colorado.
So this is a little bit
The
darker than I
accuracy of
wanted it,
law,
but it's gonna
we have
be really
discussed
pretty.
it, and I've said that I was surprised, I was unaware that in the other states, that since the Reagan shooting,
Okay.
I had thought that most of that was
I'm gonna
any longer
probably
recognized,
do a
but I
couple
was
of
told by
knots,
the attorneys
but
that was one of the other factors that played a role.
As you sit here right now, do you know the
thank
legal
you,
definition of
MJ.
insanity?
They're my derby nails.
If you would show me the,
Let me show you. They're my derby
show me
nails.
as it is written out, I will tell you whether this is what I used. I can't say it to you verbatim, but the idea has to do with whether you knew the nature of what you were doing and that it was wrong.
Well, clearly you have experience in testifying in criminal cases. You said 100 or 200 times, right?
Right.
And so you know that when you write a report, that report comes
All
to
right,
the
so I'm
prosecution.
just gonna grab a different brush for this, a smaller brush to make the little knots.
You want to
in
put
the
what the legal
wood.
definition of insanity is in the state
yeah.
of Colorado, because that's what we're here for, that's what we're here to testify about, correct?
When you have written
If I can find a clean brush.
all of the data that you require to come to that conclusion, and
Let's try
then
this one.
try
I'm
to
hoping
have
it's
it
just
work out
stained.
with the definition. Yes, we would try to use that. Here we were using as much data as we could get, and again, if I'm
I think it's just
mistaken,
stained,
and
so
it
that's
is
good.
not,
I'm gonna use the dark
understanding of
espresso
the nature of what the person is doing, and that is.
and
then I
regular alcohol
Well, this is what you say about
to help
insanity in the
push
report. You
the
say, based upon the evidence
the
found
ink
in
around on the
my
cup
opinion, Ms. Scott
create
was
some
insane
knots.
at the time of the homicide.
I need to
And
come
these
see
follow,
you
period.
and let you do mine. Let's go. I've been doing
I
Layla's.
believe that at the time, she was psychotic, and
All right,
whether you
so I'm just
use
gonna
the,
pick a
Norton
spot.
definition, whether you use the Durham decision or a variation of it, she was psychotic at the time. I
I'm gonna
believe
push
she
that
did not know what she
alcohol
was
ink
doing.
around.
I'm not certain she even
Like
knows
this.
that she did do it now as we speak. And, that it was wrong is, if she doesn't know that she did it, the question of whether or not she.
Trying to
knows
do
it's
this so
wrong
you can
is,
see it.
You know, is something that can be debated, but,
And I'm
I
just
think that she
trying
does
to make
not
rings.
appreciate the nature of what she did, or that it was wrong, and that she is guilty of having murdered again.
So she's
She's
guilty of having murdered Gannon? But she's
definitely
legally
guilty.
insane as well, is that what you're saying?
I think that she murdered Gannon.
We know she
was
did.
very guilty. She murdered
Dum-dum.
Gannon.
okay.
Again,
see that
I
little
think
knot?
you're teasing me a bit.
Can you
If
see
would
that little knot
just
right there?
rephrase that, I can tell you,
I'm just gonna make a couple of those.
because you're making me feel cheap. Maybe there's a totally different definition.
Thanks, MJ.
From our discussions.
I'm gonna make a little bit
that
bigger
was- What
one,
had struck me
maybe
most about
right here.
Colorado was that you also included an inability to conform one's behavior to what was required by law. I don't know if that's wrong, but this is what I discussed with her attorneys and part of at least what
Okay, so that's how I'm gonna start.
I've gone by. In
Start by
addition,
making
I
like
believe
a
that she did
oval.
not know the
Then
nature of
I'm
what
gonna
she
make
was doing.
smaller and smaller ovals inside that
You
oval
mean
to
ink
push
there.
the
You're talking
ink
Colorado.
out and make
Your
rings.
opinion would be applied to the law in Colorado.
Hopefully that makes sense.
Would be listening to your opinion and see if what you had to say made sense with the law.
Yes,
You've done that to 100 to 200 times, correct?
I would guess,
And I've read your other reports. In your other reports, you define what insanity is in a particular state, and you explain in your report why you think someone was legally insane at the time based on the law. Why did you not do that in this case?
You know, I would have to look at the definition as.
You're an
I'm sure
expert
what's
of
up.
182
Why I did
years.
not
Why do you
use
need to look at
the exact words that, that
This
perhaps
lady.
are there? What, a reason why in plain English I did not, I believe she was insane is that, she is psychotic. When someone is psychotic, they are out of contact with reality. They do not know the nature of what they are doing, whether it is right, wrong, or indifferent. And she is and was psychotic, and therefore she was insane. If you wish to give that a different flourish or
So that one's a little bit
something like that,
bigger.
I very much doubt
It's hard to see.
that what I'm saying to you will conflict with what you're saying.
It's a little
If there's
difficult to
some
see, but
reason
that's okay.
for being psychotic and not knowing right from wrong or what she was
Do
doing,
another one right
that this is
here.
not insanity in your state.
Do you like this report, Doctor?
Of course I wrote the report, I wrote, this is not a complete report, I wrote, I wrote it, sent it, and had it typed, yeah. I cannot tell you how
Who did you send it to?
I sent it to, Mr. Tully.
What did you send to Mr. Flynn?
You have the,
I'm asking you a question, Doctor. What did you send to Mr. Flynn?
I sent him a brief report, initially the, there was an early title that is a preliminary psychiatric impression, and then
Yes.
subsequently modified it to
This woman likes to talk
try to include anything that I had
a lot.
left out. If, after he saw my initial report.
She doesn't
if I
say
left
very
anything
much,
out that I thought
but she
should be
talks a
there.
lot.
What you left out in your initial report was your opinion with regards to insanity, correct?
In my initial communication with him, absolutely, I gave him what I had up until then.
So her initial report said that she was not insane, and now she's on the stand saying she was insane.
EEG done, as well as a neuropsych exam, which needs several
Okay.
tests to be listed here.
Okay, lady.
Right? And you wanted those done before you rendered your opinion as to insanity. in the
No,
state
they're
of
not.
Colorado, correct?
I wanted it before I testified, yes.
And none of those items got done.
Hi guys.
Yet you still
Hi.
issued a second
Hello.
report claiming that she's insane.
I miss watching
That
you
definition
go
of
live
consciousness.
all the time. Glad I caught
Well,
you. I'm
I
glad you
gave
caught me
the
too.
definition that she is psychotic and gave
Watching
the
Zachary
data to
Layton
show it,
trial,
but I did
neighbor
not
drama.
write
Yes.
it in the form in which I
I'll go
did.
back and watch
If
that.
I had all of those data to include.
All right,
them,
let's
and I did not
do.
have them, and.
Let's do one right here.
You know, I could not include what, as it was my understanding that the court refused to finance the EEG and the MRI and the neuropsychological testing.
Now, let's
So I
talk about
gave
that.
you as much as I could from
Let's
what.
talk about that. On October 13th, 2022, you were scheduled to come testify to this court about why you wanted an EEG and MRI done, correct? Do you recall that?
No, but, is that again?
Do you not recall being asked to come testify?
I mean, this
with
woman
regards
is
to
like
why you
182.
needed an EEG
Seriously.
and an MRI done?
I think she might need to retire.
I do not know what you are.
She's very accomplished, but I think it's time.
What you're referring to,
Were
because
you-
I
were-
would have been pleased to at least talk on the phone to the judge or whatever. I begged to have these things done, I can only tell you that, and I would have.
I think we're
spoken to
good,
anyone who wanted to
because
talk
most
to
of
me.
this,
Well, you were contacted.
you're not gonna be able to see it anyway.
Absolutely.
Okay,
And you were contacted before Ms. Scott pled not guilty.
here
by
comes
reason
the
of insanity,
fun
correct?
part.
She pled not guilty by reason of insanity on.
Wait a
February
minute.
9th of 2020.
That one's over, isn't it, Amanda?
I'm
The
just
TikTok
saying
dude?
this is correct.
You didn't do anything on this evaluation.
The guy, the neighbors that ran over and
I worked.
he ended up stabbing
as hard as I could.
and
to
unaliving
get
that
these-
guy?
In fact, I called the
Right?
neurologist.
Is that the one?
Dr. James Marikangas, to discuss
She's been
the case
talking the whole
because
time.
I could not get
She never shuts up.
funding from this court to get these tests done.
Hi. What is
So I
that?
called
Bee?
and discussed it.
Bee's
with him.
Craft Cottage.
I
Hello.
contacted Catherine Yeager, Dr. Yeager,
Wanda.
the
Hi, Wanda.
neuropsychologist with whom I've worked for 30 years.
All right. Glasses.
Didn't even know who the judge was, but I was told I could not get this and that I must
I have to put
get
these glasses
something
on to
in
find my other
by
glasses.
then. So I didn't even call my initial contact, a complete report on it. But I'm trying to see what I called it initial, I think initial psychiatric impression.
Right, yeah, because you wanted that
think
information
they're
before you
outside.
rendered an opinion.
Sorry, my husband keeps calling me. Okay,
As well as
found
the
him.
mom, as well as the
I won't be able to
You
see your
ever saw
comments
that?
though.
This is news to me right now, so
Oh, actually, I don't need them.
And of course, if this would have been done, it would have been 3 years after the crime.
Hi. Looking good, looking good.
And so,
Okay.
there's a gap between the time of the crime and the time of MRI and EEG.
Let me put some gloves on.
yes.
A lot of things could have happened in jail in that time period that may cause damage to Ms. Scott's head.
This is just speculative. It would have been extremely helpful to get those data and then to see whether they look like.
So
the
basically,
kind
this
of
woman's being paid
material that
$350 an hour
was,
to say that she's crazy.
Long lasting or something that's sudden.
We all know
So
she's
I
crazy.
can't really speculate on that. I did want it done then and it mattered then.
But it didn't get done, and yet you still rendered your opinion, didn't it?
Yes.
I described what I know about the case and I've given you my opinion.
Oh, that's
Despite what
pretty.
you wrote in your book,
What happened?
guilty by reason of insanity. You're familiar with your book, right? That it's easy to fake mental illnesses, especially when it comes to dissociative identity disorder. And that's why you want collateral information like an MRI or an EEG to corroborate.
That you
correct?
didn't get.
It's not exactly correct. You don't get
Someone
that.
yell if you see Terry come on here, because he's been trying to call me.
Dissociative identity disorder, no. You get that to
I'm gonna get
corroborate
a couple of these off and then I will show you
neurologic or
what we're working
neuropsychological
with.
impairment. No, you don't get that for dissociation.
Page 108, you've probably heard this a million times when you testify, I would imagine, right?
I don't know, you'd have to.
Okay, let me read it to you. Psychiatry, as every prosecutor who has ever cross-examined me has never hesitated to point out, is a soft discipline compared with the harder medical discipline of, say, neurology. Remember saying that?
There it is.
The difference between neurology and psychiatry is analogous.
Hearing weird
in some
noises
ways to
today.
The difference between hard neurologic signs and soft neurologic signs.
Yes,
Familiar?
Catherine, thank you.
Yes, go ahead.
Ask him if everything's okay, because he called like 3 times in a row.
Mass in the brain. The EEG shows localized.
Oh, the birds are back knocking on my
In
window.
other words, evidence of brain damage is clear. You were saying that?
Well, I should have said of brain dysfunction, I said of brain damage.
Said evidence of
Yeah,
brain
you
damage
did,
is clear.
lady.
I should say of brain dysfunction.
But it doesn't say that. It should say that, but it doesn't
Is
say
that.
that.
Why you wanted MRI and EEG?
Of course I wanted that, but not in order to, you would not get a special, as I said to the jury, you would not get a special MRI or EEG based on a dissociative disorder. If, however, you do get this abnormal MRI or
This bird is
EEG,
going to
you
town.
then start looking in another direction.
Knocking
You
on my
start thinking
window.
Not only maybe have dissociation.
Okay, so
There is some
looking
kind
for
of
Catherine's
documented brain dysfunction.
comment
It's operating differently.
to see if
And
Terry
So you would like that because you would have, Mr.
Needs
Tellini would have
me.
a lot easier case if he were able to document that a lot of her signs, symptoms, and behaviors are the result of abnormal
birds
electrical
trying to break
activity.
into my office
And
over
or,
here.
as in a recent case that I did early, I think
And
last
Doctor, I'm gonna
fall.
stop you there.
We don't care about your other cases. She keeps going on and on and on about her other cases.
The EEG or MRI could have showed nothing as well, right? No brain damage.
That's right.
And that would also help you inform your opinion as well.
Well,
Can't.
it certainly would not have confirmed a documented neurologic dysfunction.
And so all you had to go on was really Ms. Stout self-reporting to you and the forensic interview that you conducted.
Yes.
Well, that's simple, I can't go along with that, that's all we had. But we did not have the additional neuropsychological and neurological data that I would very much have liked and I would still like. And I had no idea that this was ever withdrawn. It was my idea, or it's my understanding, that the court had refused to grant the funding to have these things done, which in my experience is a first.
Well, now you know what
Checking
happened.
the top of my head for my
You know
glasses.
what happened.
I
The
don't,
court just took judicial notice that the defense withdrew.
You texted him, cool.
I know what you're telling
She
me,
should
but
stick to the
you
one
can
she's on
present
stand for.
this
Exactly, but she
no,
keeps
now,
she
you
keeps
put me in the
saying
middle of
she's
a-
so proud of her
and-
career and so proud of everything that she's accomplished that she just
$350
keeps
an
going
hour,
back to I did
now
this
nobody
and
pays
I did that. Well,
$300.
nobody cares what you did.
75, if I'm traveling or whatever, so it, in theory,
How many hours have you billed on this case?
I don't know yet. I have not even counted, I don't know.
And she's retired. You couldn't
I
get
just-
someone who actually is working now? Okay, can you see it? Can you see what we got going
I
on
assume
here?
because he thought that I was reputable and experienced in this field. I think he also
So there
became
is
aware that I existed because
glitter
of the documentary that was done
in
on
there.
my work and my life.
underneath there.
It's associated with that disorder.
No, about all of my work.
When you advised him, you felt there was
I don't know if
evidence
you can see it. You'll be able to see it once I get epoxy on it, but it's gonna be a minute. It's gonna be a minute.
I based that on, probably in my own head, I based it on the McNaughton rule, which would be that she did not know the nature of what she had done, and or that it was wrong, and also subsequently, after discussing it with Mr. Tellini, based on the Durham decision that she did not have control over what she was doing, that she could not conform her behavior to that which the law required.
How did you know that back in February of 2022, when you hadn't interviewed her until November of 2020?
Yeah. How'd you know that?
I'm sorry, I'd have to look over what I had looked at and what I had, what I had reviewed up to the time. And
I'm starting to feel bad for this lady now.
Give you the dates again.
Well, did you review anything prior to talking to Mr. Tillman for the first time?
The lady on the stand,
And
not
changing her plea
the
and
murderer.
her reasons?
I'm not aware of his having changed a plea. No, I assumed in fact when he called me that he thought that probably that there was an insanity defense here. And I did not think that he had one, he was pleading what, not guilty first and then changed it to NGR?
Let's see.
I don't know.
Did he text you back,
No, it
Catherine?
wasn't that I don't remember, it's that I assumed when he called me that he suspected that there was a.
Good Lord, that bird's gonna have brain damage.
A severe mental disorder that conformed to the,
That's always good as a medical professional to assume things.
And when that happens,
How about don't do
you've
that?
done hundreds of forensic
How about don't
evaluations.
do that?
There's a lot of people go to death row, some serious big-time murderers. Is that fair? There's a difference between a death penalty case,
There's a lot of swirlies on this
correct?
pattern.
Yes,
Death penalty people are the worst of the worst.
oh, it depends on what your state is like, no, it doesn't depend on the worst of the worst, it depends on what the law is in your state and the humanity of your state. It doesn't depend on the worst of the worst.
So people who kill and commit serious crimes are usually charged with death penalty cases. Is that
Is that,
Not yet.
the
Okay.
people, say that once more?
You tell
Stay
me.
humble
I-
and be
you-
What's the
kind.
difference between a
Hello.
homicide case and a death penalty case?
I like your name. I like your name.
Where the state in which you commit your offense.
Why does that matter?
Well, tell us about the people you evaluated on death row. What kind of crimes did they
That's irrelevant.
commit? What kind of?
It varied from probably the most common thing would have been like a grocery store murder where somebody got kind of upset, hung up and shot a clerk. They were, a death sentence did not correspond to the grisliness of a murder.
Well, in your opinion, a death sentence never responds to the grisliness of any murder, correct?
No, I do.
Are you for the death penalty?
Yeah, that's relevant.
I beg your pardon?
Are you pro death penalty?
I really try not to take a position on it, I just.
Whatever. Now she doesn't have an opinion.
As I see them in terms of the,
Yikes.
of the offense and what the person did.
Mess.
But I do not take a political stance, I don't think I ever have.
And as a matter of fact, you've always been contacted by defense attorneys to do these evaluations, correct?
Not always, but usually.
Have you ever been contacted by a prosecutor to come in and say testify next?
Yeah, when I worked at the
Crickets?
court clinic, and I testified for the court. When I was the head of the court clinic, I was testifying for for the state. And when I worked at Bellevue, when I was asked to evaluate, I was testifying by and large for the
Constantly
city.
repeating her resume.
Back in the sixties and seventies.
And
1960, that wasn't place.
In 1802,
2003, I finally, after 20 years of commuting, I stopped commuting.
I'm so mean.
But, no, it was up
This
until
lady's annoying me
2003.
though.
Have you ever done an evaluation on someone on death row and said, you know what? No issues here. The death sentence should go forward.
It is not up to me. I've never been asked that, so I've never had to.
Well, have you ever done an evaluation that says I find no mental disease or defect in this individual?
Yep.
Tell me about that.
Okay.
I don't remember the name.
Yes,
so
she has an
I
opinion
believe
about
I
everything except for
spoke
that.
to Mr. Cellini about it.
I
And,
know.
By God, it turned out. that
Yes, it's
I had-
all roses.
Uh,
It's all roses.
This is someone who didn't do
Roses
it
and
fine.
swirlies.
right, but his attorney.
It's gonna
did
say
not
talk derby to me.
It turned out, I learned ages later that
And
it was
somebody-
he had
It's gonna be like almost like a door prize for our party. Somebody will go home.
I
with
did,
this.
and I should tell you that, may I expand on that a little?
Sure, it'd be nice to know the name so we can confirm.
I don't know the name, I think it was Chicago.
She just said oaf.
I was going to tell you about,
She's legit like probably 86,
About,
90 somewhere around
this
there, and she
person
just dropped the
who had-
F-bomb in court.
Who had simply not committed the murder.
That's funny. That was the only entertaining part.
I'm sorry, I don't think I have anything to add to that, except
Okay,
that that
let's-
did happen.
We'll move on if you're okay with that. You all right?
Right.
You're right.
You talk about the first time you experienced dissociative identity disorder in your book,
Let me get a couple more off. You might be able to see it a little bit better.
and
Once
you
I
describe
get
it being
more of this off.
really, a life-changing
Very
experience for you, correct?
Cool.
Well, it was an eye opener.
So I wanted to do glitter,
In
but
fact,
I
you
wanted it to
wrote
be
that looking back on other evaluations,
masculine as
you probably
well,
missed it. You probably
so
missed
that if a
diagnosis
man wins
of
it,
identity
he wouldn't mind carrying it,
disorder.
which is why it's so dark.
Right, and I think I.
Hopefully
explained
you'll be able to see it on
to
camera.
the jury, and no question, I have made my mistake.
Do you remember that individual's name?
Marie Moore?
I'm sorry?
Marie Moore?
Marie Moore. And you talk about Marie Moore in your book.
What did Marie Moore do?
Remember that?
Do tell. Do tell.
You want to describe what you write in your book about
See if he
how
texted
you
back.
discovered that she had another persona?
Is that,
I can, why don't I ask you if this is consistent? So you're interviewing her. and
Not
she's
yet,
in the
okay.
hospital. And you're trying to get to whatever mental illnesses she might have. You suspect that she might have dissociative identity disorder based on what her attorney does, is that correct?
I don't suspect it, I am told it. I don't suspect it, and I made several phone calls to people who knew a lot more than I believe one was Cluft, who is, I think, the country's, well, one of the national, experts in this. And I called colleagues and discussed the case with them, and I thought, I just don't, I haven't seen this, and I don't know if it exists, but okay, because the attorney asked me whether I would do this. And I did. If you want me to explain what happened,
Let me,
how I,
between the two of you.
yeah, I beg your pardon?
Between the two of us, I think we'll get out what happened, but going into it, you had quite a bit of skepticism. Even though the
This
attorney-
lady's having a hard time staying on topic. She definitely
What they
likes to
said
talk about
was
herself.
That they thought, some people thought that she may have this, and they said that people that she had spoken to, kids who were around where she lived, said that at times
All right,
she
let's see if I
sounded
can't
pregnant,
get you a better
and
idea
that
of
she,
what this is going to look
asked to be
like.
called Billy. That was what they knew.
Oh,
And,
see, it's sanded,
That's what they told me.
so you're not going to be
And
able
so
to
they said,
see it
"Don't do this
until
while
it's
you're seeing her checkup."
till I get the
Multiple
whatchamacallit on.
procedures.
Focus, Linda. Exactly.
You know,
Lord.
I really, I
Lady.
thought I had never seen it, and I didn't think I would. And,
Right.
so I did go to see her, and, I could find nothing that, like, went along with what I understood this
So
would be.
when you're asking, hey, I wanna talk to Billy, and Billy talked to me, the words that,
No. I don't think I'll tell you, I remember, this is about 100 years ago.
She said this is 100 years ago. At least she's being accurate.
fair.
84, 86, yeah. Well, that tells
That
you
was
how
hilarious.
long it took me to even think, maybe this could be it. But, I asked her, based on all these very wise people I had consulted, I asked her,
I'm trying to
whether,
hurry so that you can see this with
you know,
epoxy on
I
it.
said to her, you know, there are people who say that
I
sometimes
understand if I'm boring you to
want
death.
to be called Billy or what have you. And she said, yes, people have told me this, but I don't know. And I said, you know, many people who have been through the kinds of things that you,
I will post a video of the process
many
though.
people have been bothered, like sexually by other people or whatever. Has anything like this ever happened to you, whatever? No, Dr.
Whatever.
Never.
She's definitely met with this
Ever.
lady for 14 plus hours. She's like, whatever, whatever, yada
No,
yada.
it did not happen, and no one ever did this. And we talked, and I do need to see a patient more than once and for a while. So I said, I really need to leave now. There was an investigator had driven me out and put his head in the door and said, we have to leave. And I said, Marie, I'm so sorry, but I have to leave now, and but I will come back and I will talk to you again. And she said, don't leave. She said, there's something I have to tell you, very much as I'm telling you. And so I sat. I do have endless patience when time has, does not just stop at the end of an hour. So I waited, and I said, I just can't stay, I have limbs.
She's literally
I have to
talking
go.
about
I will
somebody
come.
else.
And
I don't
promise
understand.
you we'll talk some more. And she said, don't go, there's something I have to tell you.
The only thing that
And,
she's talked about
So I
Letitia
waited,
was,
and
yes,
then,
she was
As
insane.
is my mode, I picked
That's-
up my little yellow
That's
hat,
it.
And
That's all she said.
'cause I think
She's
I
not,
was reading it,
she's talking about
and
other
I
people.
said, I'll be back, Maria, and we'll
irrelevant.
talk again, but I have to leave. I got up and stood up, walked toward the door, put my hand on the doorknob, and opened the door, and behind me, a voice said, don't go. And
You guys,
it was chilling.
I can't with this lady.
I turned around.
I just can't.
And
Don't
by the way, I
go.
thought she and I looked a bit alike. They were in the days of the big glasses, and you kind of looked pretty simple with big full glasses.
I wish you
and,
guys could see this woman.
I turned around, and instead of this kind of wimpy looking girl with the glasses looking at me, she had changed.
Even
She
Letitia's
was
like,
sitting
what is this lady
with her
talking about?
legs towards the door, her hands on her knees, and in a masculine kind of look, and she said, don't go. There's something I have to tell you. And she put out her hand, and I put out mine, and I took hers, and I said, Billy? And she said, yes. And I said, wait a minute. And because I was scared. I had not seen this before.
And Doctor, if I could just stop you there, just so I
Yeah.
He's like, can we just stop this
When you're referring to
charade?
things that Billy said, you're using a male voice.
Yes, I'm imitating it as much as I can. Yeah.
Just on the record. Go ahead, please continue.
Yeah, I'm sometimes better at it than, but it was this harsh kind of thing, and I kept the door open
I
and
can't.
I don't remember the
I
man's name.
can't.
I said,
I
"Mr.
can't with
So-and-so,
this.
Don't go. There's someone that needs to meet you."
Let me see if I can
I
zoom
did.
in
There's someone I
YouTube.
didn't
Oh, I
like.
can. That's way better.
And
Look at that.
And the
Y'all don't need to see me.
investigator came in and sat, and
That is way
he
better.
said hello, and he said, Billy. I forget who said which first. And he sat down, and then we talked a bit. And I guess he said Billy, or I said Billy, and he said yes. And I then asked some of the same questions that I had asked before. And I said to, if memory serves, I said, Billy, when I was talking with Marie and she said that so-and-so had never bothered her sexually. I said, did anything ever happen to Marie, or whatever? And
Whatever.
the only way I can talk about it is saying Billy. And Billy said, I said, did the father ever do anything? And she said, oh, sure he did.
Oh my
And
god.
she said, when she was, I don't remember if it was 2 or 4, he put pencils in her.
Okay, bop.
When she was, I believe he said 12. When she was 12, he had sex with her.
Okay.
It had
Trigger
been
warning.
denied. Marie had absolutely denied this. I could have left there, decided that the attorneys were crazy, and I was not, and left, but this happened. And so, after talking a bit with her, I said, we do have to go now, and, but I will come back, and I will see you again. And I did come back, and I did see her again.
And you eventually diagnosed her with dissociative identity disorder or multi-personality disorder, as it was called.
Well, multiple personality disorder was what the term was then, but it was pretty convincing.
So how many diagnoses?
There was one other thing that.
Her reenacted, right? Her reenactment. Yeah, you can see it now. I had to zoom in for you. Crazy. We just wait till there's epoxy on it. It's gonna be so pretty. He texted 1 hour away. Okay.
Oh,
Okay, Terry.
Because
See you in an
he
hour.
subsequently ran a clinic at.
Thank you, Catherine.
And I remember.
Thank you.
It must have lasted for about 5 years, and my recollection was when, because it made no money, somehow the fields I go into are not the most lucrative.
Really, doctor? Wow.
It depends how long, whatever, and.
She doesn't make enough money.
What I can
Doctor?
tell you is that Bellevue closed the clinic because it.
She went to
was
Harvard and
not
Yale.
medicine, and that's
Now
a
she's
very
complaining
good
that she doesn't make enough money.
And,
Okay.
by that time, I
Sure.
was surprised they would do this because we had
I want to make $350 an hour. Wouldn't you like to make $350 an
at
hour?
Bellevue. In that particular clinic, there were 100 cases. Now, this may be piddling for an ordinary clinic, but for a particular specialty kind of clinic on an offbeat.
I don't know why this lady is
disorder,
so annoying to me.
I thought that it would at least support itself.
Annoying
And,
me a lot.
and it didn't. And so I can say that we had, at the time, there were 100 visits, I should say there were 100 visits to Bellevue, to that clinic. So that gives you some idea of the number of of cases that came through. And the clinic lasted for only about 4 or 5 years. And of course, at first there were very few. And then as we became better known around Connecticut, New York, New
Catherine,
Jersey,
Robin is alive.
York,
She is live.
patients were referred. But we didn't always make that diagnosis. Obviously, you could see patients and they didn't have.
Right, Jane?
But you made that diagnosis more often since the Marie case.
Ungrateful.
Of course,
Would you say 100 times?
I really don't know, it would be a guess, but certainly I know how to interview better now. I know how to interpret things better now than I did then, and if you
Have all
ask
those
me, I missed, I probably missed more than I ever made.
have all those diagnoses been in criminal cases where someone's facing criminal charges?
No, in fact, our first case when the clinic opened at Bellevue was a 4-year-old child from our.
I actually really like the color of this wood
from
green.
Our
Very monochromatic with that red.
preschool there, child who was referred to the clinic and who indeed.
In criminal cases, do you have any skepticism going in that the person may be faking dissociative identity disorder?
Already.
Tell us about that.
Is that you always have to be skeptical about it, well, just even about your own skills, not just whether somebody's faking or not. You have to you have to be appropriately modest about your skills and your
Modest you are not.
recognize it, sure.
And in your book,
You
write
are far
alternating
from honest.
personalities leave evidence of their existence all over the place.
Humble and modest
Jonathan,
are
who
not
is the neuron
words
psych-
that I would use to describe this person.
No, he died. He was a professor of neurology at Yale, and then at St.
I
Elizabeth.
bet it's gonna be
You say Jonathan and I have
even
been
better
able to
with the
trace
shiny
clues in
epoxy.
multiple personality
Yes.
disorder all the way back to early
Haven't seen
childhood.
you for ages. How are you and
Teaching.
family? We're good, Jay.
Social
We're
service.
good. How are you guys?
Social service records, medical charts,
Hi,
letters to
Graceland.
friends and relatives,
Hello, hello.
journals,
April,
diaries,
hello,
drawings, all pieces of the puzzle that when fitted together reveal the picture of a divided, often fragmented mind.
They often did. Correct. What I'm saying there is that you get data. In fact, I noticed that in some of your reports, I think there were references to certain kinds of skid, interviews and things of that sort. But
Just, what
what
reports
I was trying to say is that when we make a diagnosis, I pretty much insist that there has to have been evidence that this existed long before I ever set eyes on the person or the person set eyes on me. And very often you will find writings.
I gotta be honest. I don't care if she's insane or not.
All sorts
She
of
needs to go away for the
evidence
rest of her
that
life.
Somebody has.
That's the bottom line.
produced
In
or
my
even
eyes,
signing
like
into,
I could care less if you were
all sorts of
insane
things.
at the time.
Uh,
I mean,
I
that might
insist
sound
that whatever it
heartless,
is,
but
have, or try at least to have,
he was 11 years old. Okay,
evidenced itself
he
long
couldn't defend
before they
himself.
saw me, because, you're very open to being accused of suggesting and of, giving someone an idea.
Just my
that,
opinion.
Oh, they must have this because you can suggest it. And this is why, at least in our clinic, we would, search for evidence that
Cooling down.
antedated any
or
contact
Windsor.
with,
I think she's
so
playing. I think she's playing
still
insane
do.
as
And
well.
that's why you would never want to
I
suggest
agree.
to a defendant that you're doing a forensic
agree.
evaluation on, that they may have some kind of mental disease or disorder, right? What you mean by not suggesting?
No, by not, by just looking back, because you can usually look back and find evidence of, let's say, different names and different signatures,
Yeah, she didn't have any of that.
You can find different artistic styles and different signatures at the bottom of them. So that
Bullshit.
you look back so that nothing you did influenced what you used to make your diagnosis. And it's how we try to at least be certain that we have not created anything that wasn't there.
It seems to me that family members might be very relevant to interview in regards to
Yeah.
not their loved one.
If they would.
Dissociative identity disorder.
I'm trying to hurry.
Well,
I really
there's
want to
one
get epoxy on
fallacy there,
this.
which is very often the abuser has been a family member. And with Marie Moore,
Oh my
the
gosh.
father would not allow the mother to come in or be seen alone. They came in together, would say next to nothing. And well, but family members are not necessarily the best in the world. Far better is looking back at what the person himself or herself has created prior to
Well,
your injury.
this is ridiculous.
That's the reason not to tell you the truth, right?
Yeah, she can lie to you.
You just said a few minutes ago that you're skeptical going into these interviews because people get charged with crimes, they have a reason to fake it. You know what you were saying?
And that
Duh.
is why you would have your data antedate any crime, any contact with them, because you can't retrospectively malinger.
I'm
And
sorry,
it's
guys. I'm
vital for everyone to
trying
remember
to
that.
do.
You cannot
quickly.
retrospectively maligner. Oh,
But
gee,
there's a lot
I'm gonna
on
sign
here.
this painting differently because 10 years from now I'm gonna commit murder. Come on. That is why you cannot, that's why you don't just take something that was produced after you met with the person. Why you look back and beat the bushes for any data. Letters, old letters to people, letters to and from, old social work records, old medical records where you signed in for something.
What about your daughter in 21 and been able to defend them her whole life, every day of her life?
Yes, her daughter.
When you talk to her,
What about her?
sex lives,
Who said that she has never went by any other names. Her personality has never changed.
I asked the attorneys with whom I could speak, and I was not in touch with any of these people, and so I
Interesting.
did not use them.
She just said she
unless
asked the
what they
attorneys
had
if she
used
could speak to these
before me,
people,
sometimes
and they basically were like, no, you don't, no need to speak to
That
them.
would be kosher. You could probably look at that, but
You say in your book that there was a case in Florida.
Of course, Florida. Leave Florida out of it.
So what do you do? You ask them, watch the testing, and you refuse to testify. Remember that?
I don't remember which case it was. No, this was written when, in '86, and
Well, why didn't you do that
I don't
here?
recall that case.
Why didn't you do that here? Why didn't you refuse to testify because you didn't have done what you wanted to have done?
But still, I don't know.
She transported him in a suitcase across the country.
Speaking of that,
Probably should.
you were to be here at 9 o'clock this morning.
What's going on? He said you were supposed to be here at 9
I was
o'clock.
supposed to be here 2 weeks ago, and I was told that at the last minute that I was not to come until last Friday. I do not know.
Oh, he
The
is
timing is
like
so
attacking
nice.
her.
And your report was due on February 13th of 2020.
Right. I mean, she went on and on trying to cover up what she did for 2 weeks.
You know there's discovery
2
requirements for your report.
And then continued to try to lie about what happened. She knew what she knew. And if she didn't know, why didn't she, like, after it happened, why didn't she call the police and be like, oh my god, I blacked out, and when I woke up, this is what I found. Like, I know that if that happened to me, that's what I would
Get the
do.
data,
I mean,
did the
I don't
best that I
know.
could with what I was given.
And you provided, or at least somebody typed up a report.
Right, Catherine?
That was
Like,
given to us 4 days before we started.
I'm not
testing.
gonna just be like, oh crap. I just
Do you have a disregard?
bludgeon this person. Let me try to hide it.
Disregard for the-
No. No. I'm gonna call the police and be like, I have no idea what happened. I blacked
Do you have
out
an
and
unconscious
woke up
bias
to this.
With regards to dissociative identity disorder.
Unconscious bias of what? What are you talking about?
Based on your evaluation of Marie and all the other diagnoses you made, you go into evaluations thinking, I'm gonna look for dissociative identity disorder.
No more than I'm going to look to see whether there is bipolar disorder.
I think I'm
whether
almost
there is
done.
brain damage, whether there is seizure disorder. No, no more.
What does crazy, not insane mean?
Crazy, not insane means.
That's her. Crazy,
there are
not insane.
individuals who have very severe mental illness
That's her.
or
Yes.
crazy.
Crazy,
But- not
not insane.
They are not considered insane because they may not meet the
Crazy
criteria
and
of that
evil.
particular
Not
statement,
insane.
or whatever it is, so that they may be crazy as a bedbug, but
Crazy as a
does
bedbug.
not fit
Are
an
bedbugs
insanity
crazy?
defense, and the insanity varies, as you know, from state to state, so that you can be quite crazy in one place, but not insane.
So you can commit a murder where there may not be any motive or any reason why that person committed a murder, but you can still be legally sane. Is that what you're saying?
I don't think that's what I said, no.
You can commit a murder that may not have a motive to it, and still be legally sane. For instance, the mother shakes a baby. No reason other than the baby fine. Person still be legally sane.
And the person be sane,
Yes.
depending on where this occurs, yeah.
Is that what you mean by crazy, not insane?
Why does location matter if someone's crazy or insane?
That's only one small,
There's millions.
but
There's probably hundreds of crimes that fit that category.
I think they're probably more crazy than insane disorders. How's that?
Okay. Legal insanity is a pretty high calling.
That's what
Well, I talked to you about Colorado, but I'm not sure you can.
now I'm going to have to go look up the exact rule. I take it McNaughton does not fly in Colorado?
Well, let me ask you a question about these reports that you.
Shouldn't you know that since you're testifying in Colorado, doctor?
No, I don't, but go ahead.
What reports are you?
Yes.
I don't know what report you're referring.
Is
Well,
this an FSU
there's
cup?
only,
No, this is a Derby cup.
One report with regards to insanity in this case, other than yours, correct?
As far as
Evil is just plain
And that-
evil.
that's
Yes.
a report by Dr. Gray and Dr. Torrance,
Derby cup.
correct?
Did you say one of my reports, aren't they people that are from your side of the,
Well, that's what I'm asking you. Why do you think they're on our side?
because they work for the state.
You work for the state? You're getting paid by the state?
She did not just say that.
I don't know who I'm getting paid by, but I
You.
assume that they're working on your side because you've asked them, had you asked me to evaluate, Leticia?
Oh, here we
I
go.
probably would have said yes, I'd be glad to evaluate Leticia.
Would your answer be the
Would it surprise
same?
you that the court is the one that actually asked the state hospital to do a neutral evaluation?
No, it would not, however,
Oh boy.
when you
Here we
ask
go.
the state to do this, the state is the one that is, the people there are being paid by the state.
You're being
And
paid by the
It is
defense.
usually,
I cannot believe this
With
woman
that
is up here saying this
slant,
right now.
just as when a public defender gets a case, it is usually slanted in that direction.
Are you basing that just because they found her legally sane at the time? Somehow
OMG.
Brought them into this case?
She did not just say that.
I'm not basing it on anything, I don't know.
You're quite familiar, you've testified in other murder cases where the prosecution actually goes out and hires an expert. That person comes in and testifies.
Wow. I'm shocked that this expert just said that.
That's the only thing, the only person I can think of, so. That didn't happen in this case, did it? I don't get it. I mean, part deeds is
She
part
said,
deeds.
"I don't get
whatever.
it."
So you had no idea how Dr. Gray and Dr. Torres became involved in this evaluation?
I'm assuming that they were requested by you or by the court to do this evaluation.
You said that you read 100 pages of police reports?
I didn't recall giving a number, I said hundreds of pages of different reports,
How long did it take you to get through all that information?
hours,
Thousands and thousands of pages, right?
I don't know, hundreds of,
Reports from the FBI, correct?
I would have to go over it. I know I carried a suitcase here that weighed,
Oh my
over 100 pounds, but I don't know how many pages.
Reports from the El Paso County Sheriff's Office, correct? You reviewed those?
Thanks for the follow, guys. Thank you.
Dozens and dozens of reports.
I can't believe she
What about
just said
reports from
that,
Myrtle Beach?
Catherine.
South
That's
Carolina?
insane.
Did you review those?
I would have to look over this again. Because again,
That's
I
like
looked
crazy
at
to
this
me.
a while back,
How's the
so
zoo?
don't
The
keep
zoo
me with
is
this, so
doing
you don't
great.
Look over what I have with me, I can,
Well, tell me what you
Everybody
recall
is
reviewing.
good.
I
Everybody
would
is
have
good.
to look at them. I don't recall the name of each place and each organization.
So Bear got
Mr.
into my
Tony,
makeup
this
room and
question
ate
about-
my beauty blender this morning.
While you're conducting the evaluation, remember him asking you
I
that?
don't know why he likes those so much.
Do you remember
It's like
giving 3
it's a
answers?
sponge.
One,
Why?
want them
He
to
doesn't
see
need
what I
anything
see.
else, just the beauty
It's your first
blender.
answer, correct?
Super annoying.
And you knew this was being videotaped, correct?
Right?
Why couldn't they just watch the video?
In my experience, it is helpful.
Oh my gosh, am I actually
the
done?
person who is responsible for the case to see what I see. Another
Oh, you can really
reason would
see
be,
it on this one.
I've said to
Oh,
you,
and this one. Oh,
You know,
I'm glad I looked.
try not to interrupt me if you can avoid it, but if there is something toward the end or something that you feel I need to know that I've just failed to ask about, please feel free to ask it or ask me.
Alright,
Can you-
I just have the
So
bottom.
that there are a number of reasons why I like the person to see what I see and also to enable me to see what he or she sees that I'm witnessed.
Well, isn't it kind of awkward because the attorney there is the one deciding, hey, isn't it make it awkward for
Let
you?
me take this off real quick.
And you certainly would not want the attorney to interject and become part of that evaluation, would you?
There are occasions when it's very important, when something vital is left out, and if the person were not there, I would not even know enough to ask later on to say it.
Would you consider that to be an unbiased interview if the person who's working in the best interest of the client is asking questions?
Do you hear the birds? They're like out there screaming.
I think it depends what the questions are. I think I told you in an interview, I said, look,
My
if you
screaming
try to
birds.
continue with this, let's stop now, and I quit. Talk about it with each other, and I'll come back, so that I try very hard not to play along.
You said the second factor was disassociative cases, there's a lot of skepticism prevailing in the case. Do you remember saying that?
I'm sure I have many.
What does the attorney have to
Hydrate,
do
people, hydrate.
to alleviate that second factor?
Friendly
It's
reminder.
very important for him to see what I see. For example, in this particular case, Leticia's accent changed, and
Yeah, because it's super hard to do that on
And
purpose.
It's important for me to have another person see what I see and then say, did you see what I see, or something of that sort, so that it is helpful.
You don't think that has an impact on the defendant? having you tell the attorney that, did you see that?
Do I do that? Have you ever seen me do that? No, because I did not ever do that.
Okay, last thing, Mr. Locke.
Ooh, she's getting feisty.
Question, and then you're able to answer as well.
You don't think that would have an impact on the defendant, her ability to act a certain way based on what you're saying, her attorney in the room at the time that she's saying this?
Could you repeat what you said first about what I said and what he said and whether it would
We're gonna see the video in a minute.
Ooh, they're gonna play the video. That's gonna be interesting.
Have an impact on the
Better than
defendant's
listening to
ability
this
to act
old
a
bat.
certain way based on what you're telling her attorney in the same room.
I do not believe that what I do, or the way in which I do it on occasion, if I want the attorney to be there, or someone else from the attorney's side,
Hello.
I feel that I am more likely
Sorry, I'm almost done.
to treat.
It's hard. I
than
can't
if,
read
if
comments without my
on my
glasses,
own,
and
and
I can't
failed
get the
to conduct
vinyl
something.
off
I
with
would
my
like to say,
glasses. So
Wait until the end. If you can wait.
Almost done.
Wait until the end. And then, please raise any questions you have that I may have misunderstood or may have been wrong. But I do this in the interest of trying to learn as much as I can.
I am gonna do the FSU
You think
cut
the
next
attorney
though.
might have an interest, in your opinion, in the outcome of that interview?
Of course.
Did you have any safety concerns when you're interviewing Ms. Stout on those 3 days?
I think that just the very fact that I have somebody there tells me that I always have enough sense to try to keep myself safe and calm so I don't have to worry about my own safety.
You interviewed her hours.
All right, let's get some epoxy on this bad boy so you can actually see it.
Yes.
Why?
Well, a case I had a while back, I actually was flying out to Florida for, that was part of the case it was, there was a woman attorney with the patient, and by the time I arrived at the prison, the patient had attacked the woman. She had been alone in the room with this person who she knew well. It's an eye-opener and it's a lesson, and it
I
can
swear,
happen.
even Letitia is
And
bored
this
with this
woman
lady.
had been the defendant for a long time. No, I don't think that I'm that good that after
Oh, I
2
think
hours
you do
with
think
somebody,
that.
I am perfectly safe. The other thing is, with dissociation, a person can switch on a dime. And if you look at the tapes, you'll see that a person, just as they can switch an accent, and it just happens, and you barely notice it when you see it, a person can switch on a dime in terms of how they perceive you. And you can just say for a minute, this friend of mine was stabbed shortly before I arrived there to interview the defendant, and I was not permitted to do the interview, and that was that. But no, I do not think that the third day I'm necessarily safe on my own. I would be a fool.
But you talked about someone switching on a dime. You didn't diagnose Ms. Stout with dissociative. 23. Why are you concerned about her switching on a dime when you haven't made a diagnosis?
Because I don't know when I come and see a patient
So,
what the disorder
yeah.
is, and there are
She
other
knows.
disorders. in
She
which
knows
someone
what he's
can
doing.
switch on a dime. And or you could say something stupid or the wrong thing, and the atmosphere changes. So
Ay, ay, ay.
you know, maybe I'm a coward.
I don't think you're a
Her
coward.
voice reminds me of Elaine,
Everyone
Amber
who's
Heard's attorney.
diagnosed-
Yes! Oh my gosh, she reminds me a lot of her.
You're insane if you have to
No,
Of course not, right? There's a spectrum.
I taught you that.
She just said, "I taught you that." Really? This woman.
But anyway, there's some who are more severe than others. There's some that may not impact their life whatsoever, right?
I don't know.
Because you only.
How do you not know?
Criminals, right?
No,
Okay.
come on.
Your opinion is that something that happened over 20 years ago with Miss Stout's stepfather is the origin of her traumatic stress that leads to dissociative identity disorder. Did I get that right?
No,
Tell us, what's the origin?
I do not know enough about what she.
You don't know enough about this woman, yet you're up here on the stand telling the jury that she was insane
relatives
at the time of the crime.
personally, so that I
Make it make
possibly
sense.
say that in my experience, I'm staggered by how very, very early ongoing, intolerable torture can create this, and
Even Letitia's like,
You could-
oh my god, this woman.
sometimes you can get a hint of when it happened because when the person is in a certain dissociative state, they may draw the way a 3-year-old does. And it may turn out that as you learn more, that maybe it was at around that time that the major trauma occurred. But it's
Well, let me.
I don't know
Make
what.
sure I wrote down your answer, Mike. You said the cause is early ongoing physical and or sexual abuse that is intolerable, can't cope with it anymore, find self-hypnotic.
It is as if you left out as if. It is as if the person has gone into a self-hypnotic state. I have used that term because for me, it makes sense. You will find others, experts, far better than I, who may use a different term in terms of the way in which the mind changes. But for me, it is most understandable to say it is a type of self-hypnosis.
I can't believe the jurors are still
You know,
awake
if
after
you
listening
kind
to
of
all
think
this.
you are someone else and you're
Like, they deserve
you are
a trophy.
like a self-hypnosis. And it's unconscious, it is not conscious.
Regardless, you indicated that these assaults happened back when Ms. Stout was 15 years old.
No, I said I know only from other people's histories, and maybe one time where she told me from about age 5 to age 10, some things occurred, that these things have been documented by other people. I am not telling you when. I suspect that we don't know enough of what went on.
Alright. Let's zoom you back in.
She got a softball scholarship, that she got a doctorate's degree, that she
Would you explain the doctorate's degree, where she got it and how?
do not know that she got a doctorate.
Which case is this? This is
I think you
Letitia
kind of said
Stout.
It was,
She
over the internet, and it was.
murdered her
I think that you need to look at that a bit.
her 11-year-old
You didn't
stepson.
know that? Okay.
And now
Well,
she's
it
saying
was. It
she's
was,
claiming that she
it
was insane when doing so.
I don't know, some of those people
Watch the videos, it's not in the videos.
it's not there.
Alright, so I'm just gonna make sure that all the vinyl is off and there's nothing that I need to clean up.
But anyway, that didn't impact her ability to go.
That
to
needs to be
college.
cleaned up, so I'm gonna grab,
College was also, I believe her
I'm
degree
actually just gonna
was
use a little bit of alcohol on this.
Computer, an internet.
And she succeeded in life, had a daughter, married twice,
Wow.
right? And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere,
And why would you say succeeded, married twice? This is not a victory.
she murdered her. She murdered her with that 20-year-old.
But she managed to marry some really unpleasant people. I'd say those were big mistakes.
And just coincidentally, you come involved, and now all of a sudden this event that happened 21 years ago is the cause of her killing of 11-year-old. What you tell us, sir?
No, I'm not telling you this.
Then why is it relevant?
Okay,
You're trying to understand what happened and why it happened, and I'm just telling you
All right, here we
what
go.
causes, in my experience, in my limited experience,
Well-
what causes this kind of phenomenon. but I don't consider her having married twice inappropriate and less than loving.
Oh my gosh, it's so pretty.
Success. Nor do I consider her degrees.
When do you think her dissociative identity disorder started?
Wow. I don't know with her. If you were to ask me.
Holy moly, that's
First,
pretty.
Patient in our clinic was 4 years old.
You didn't think that was important for your opinion to get this jury when her diagnosis started?
Only if I knew it.
Well, you know, you reviewed the jail records in this case, right?
But they're incomplete, and we don't have enough
Look
data
how
to say
pretty.
when this started. But you can be pretty sure that
I hope you can see it.
it tends to be early and ongoing and intolerable.
Well, it started when she said it started, after June 5th, when her competency was raised in the court. Remember reading that?
It doesn't matter what she says when she says something started.
In fact, Dr. Torres specifically asked her during the competency evaluation, you answered the question a certain way.
I agree.
Would you tell
I
us-
agree, Jay. That's exactly what I said. I could care less if she was insane or not. She needs to be locked up
I don't know.
forever.
Significant in your opinion?
I would
Because
like to
she
know
beat
the
him.
context of it.
She
In fact, it
stabbed
wasn't until the
him,
second competency evaluation
and then she
Dr.
shot him.
Bennett
So, I mean, come on now. Come on. For no reason. Literally for no reason.
For sure, but it certainly could be.
You reviewed the reports, did you not?
I did, but I reviewed hundreds of pages and I can't quote each.
You're not enough the court. How much longer you want to go? It's about 10 till.
And everybody's falling asleep because this lady is dumb.
I've got, we're going to get into
No, she's
videos
not
tomorrow,
dumb.
so I've got quite a bit.
She's actually very smart, but
It did go. Okay, sure.
she needs to retire fully.
You indicated on direct examination that it's very common for an individual to split off to take the characteristics of their abuser when they have dissociative identity disorder.
I've seen it often.
Did you see it, Ms. Stout?
I can't say for sure I saw that with him. I don't know.
Okay.
Rita Sanchez has nothing to do with her stepfather. Would you call him crazy ass James or something like that?
What about him?
Jackass James. Let's go with that.
Well, but did she turn into Jackass James?
That's what I'm asking you.
I didn't hear that. I see it. I don't know where you're coming from.
Well, you said on direct that it's common, very common, I think you said, that individuals take on the persona of their abuser.
I said it is common, but
Okay.
it is common.
Let's see if I can
That doesn't
get
mean that
you
in this case it happened. I'm just
able to see this.
informing the jury, it is common, and I'm saying this to you so that you don't say, oh, we're gonna get rid of so-and-so sometime because he's terrible, because he's listening when we're there. And, it's not a good idea to do that. That's all.
Did you have any indication whatsoever that Jackass James was one of her personas?
I don't think that I got to, know her well enough or.
Let me see if
her
let me
often
flip you
enough
guys around,
to
okay?
say that.
You didn't ask her for Jackass James to come out and
Hi.
talk to you, did you?
You feeling better?
No, I
I see that.
Much better.
people to come and talk.
Alright, how do we
You
flip
asked
this?
Maria Sanchez to talk to you.
Only because you told me Maria existed, I had not heard of Maria. And, so I would say, is it possible to talk to her, particularly because she did give us a clue that Maria Sanchez is a very violent character, and there are guns and there are all sorts of things. So that, of course, I would want to say, is it possible to talk to this person? I'm not
I
saying
know,
I want
right?
to talk to, but is it possible for me to talk to?
And the DSM-5 talks about a triggering event that causes someone who suffers the trigger event.
Say that again?
The DSM-5 talks about a triggering event, something traumatic that triggers that emotion, that change personality. When they're
Henry, there can be any number of triggers.
What trigger did you use to have her change to Maria Sanchez?
They moved the flip camera again?
consciously use a trigger.
Jeez.
It could be I have brown hair that's a trigger. It could be no trigger that I have done. It could be looking at the light there, and there's a green light there, and a trigger is not, it isn't you press a button and that does it, but there are different things that have an association to a person.
Thanks, Jay.
And that may then elicit a memory and a flashback and could create a switch. But, I don't invite a trigger.
But what you did, you were saying something about Maria Sanchez, and all of a sudden, big accent comes out, she starts laughing.
I didn't. I don't even know if Maria Sanchez sounds, to me she sounds Hispanic, and whoever talked to me sounded Russian without Russian words, but sounded Russian. I don't think Maria Sanchez and the Russian words were the same.
But what you said on the record is that she spoke Russian. You didn't say
No.
it sounded Russian.
I said it sounded Russian. I would ask the jury to confirm this.
Why
The jury?
I
How
said
is
it
the
in
jury
the
supposed to
Can
know?
I just get one question? Why is it that Dr. Torres asked you to speak to Maria Sanchez?
I have vinyl all over me.
She says, I'm not anybody to change that procedure. And when you asked, she didn't want to change.
Magic.
Okay, those are my questions for today.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will take our evening break. If I
Terry
can
just
have
got
everyone
home, so
come
I am
back to
actually
the
gonna
meeting
hop
so that we
off
can
of
start at
here.
9 o'clock in the morning. We should be able to start right on time. Again, do not discuss the case among yourself. Do
I'll
not,
be back tomorrow.
Discuss the case with anyone else. Do not do your own independent
I'll be
research
back
about any
tomorrow.
aspect of this case. I know that some of you may
Thank
go
you
home,
all
you
for
may
hanging
want to
out.
watch HBO, and that's fine. Just don't watch any documentaries. Don't watch anything about this case, any witnesses
I just
having to do with
realized
this case.
there's
So
probably
with that, we'll
epoxy
see
down there.
everybody at
And it's a
9 o'clock in the
miracle
morning.
that I did not
All right, for the jury, please.
stick my arm in it. This woman looks like the girl from The Ring. Her hair is always in her face, like, ugh. She's evil. Evil, evil, evil. Actually, let me do this real quick. Let's do this.
He lied.
Thank you, you may all be seated. Record should reflect the jury has left the courtroom. So,
She's
if
talking
we
to the
can
judge.
start everybody in the morning at 9 o'clock. And Dr. Lewis,
She's saying he
I
lied.
understood, and I'm just going based on what the attorneys told me. I understood that you were going to be here this morning, and you weren't. I get that. I had then said that we would start at 1 o'clock. You weren't here at 1 o'clock either. Let's be here at 9 o'clock. Okay. I understand.
The judge is reprimanding the witness.
No, I understand, and the attorneys are trying to do the best they can too, so I understand, but, let's be here at 9 o'clock in the morning so that we can all start at the same time. Is there anything else that we need to address at this point in time, prosecution?
Yes, Judge.
Just playing her
Based
part,
on
yeah.
the issues that have popped up as it relates to
Okay,
the
so
meeting that
this
occurred with Dr. Lewis
it's just a wooden
just
R
on Sunday.
that
and
I
the lack of being
put
taken
pearls
somewhere
on.
required. I would ask the court
So
to
I did this
be sure
weekend.
that nobody, either the prosecution or defense,
Okay,
talk
so
to
I
the
just
witness while she's at
covered
the
it in
stand tonight
pearls.
to avoid any further issues.
This
There's
is a
already been one of
little
those in this case. And I
sign.
think it would be, in the best interest of getting
So
things to the jury.
all I'm
to
gonna
avoid
do-
any issues on that particular front.
I'm gonna
And then,
epoxy
I think
this
you've already
on
given
this.
The witness in order to be here at
And
9
this
a.m.
will go
tomorrow
in my
morning, be
makeup
ready to
room
testify.
because it's
I do
pink.
think it's important, as we're trying to get to the truth of the matter here,
So
that,
basically,
we don't have any impairments with this particular witness.
it will hang
Mr.
like
Colonial,
that.
since this is your witness, do you have a response?
Little rustic. So I'm just gonna. Well, you know what?
Okay.
Let's not
that
do that.
request
Let
is
me go
granted.
talk to my husband.
Dr. Lewis, aside from logistical issues
Let's-
about getting back.
let's
and
not
forth
start
from
any
wherever
more
it is that you're
projects
staying to
today.
the courthouse, Don't discuss this case with anyone else, don't discuss it with the.
Thank you
especially
for coming over to
discuss it with
YouTube.
the
I
attorneys.
appreciate you all
This
being on
is a
YouTube.
cross-examination.
That helps me
This would
out.
not be,
So if y'all have
your
YouTube,
opinions would not
which
be
everybody
able
has
to be,
YouTube, you can go watch. Next time I
I
go
would,
live,
at this
if
point,
I can
you would
get
have a conversation with the
more
attorneys
people on the
overnight,
YouTube channel,
unless
that would be
something were to change tomorrow
amazing.
in any event.
So
So I
I'll
think
see you
probably
guys
the
tomorrow.
cleanest way to avoid all that
Bye.
is just don't have any discussion with the attorneys about your testimony
guys.
either today or tomorrow or the case. And we'll leave it at that.
Even that